Hey, thanks for tuning in. This is our second part of our interview with Sgt Donovan Lucas. Be sure to tune in to part 1 for the first part of our interview. Thanks, and enjoy the show.
Again, I don't know. Maybe movies have worked my sense on
what? No way.
People, yeah, exactly. Right? So like, I remember the first time I went and trained these people.
Where's Rambo?
Like, exactly.
Where'd Rambo show up?
I was like, where are all these special forces guys, man? And it's like I was dealing with they're great people and they're obviously serving, and so like I'll always respect them for that. But they're like quote unquote average people.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, we're going to go through some kicks and punches. And I was watching him kick and punch, and I was like, oh, my God. Like,
I saw the 5-year-olds class.
Yeah, I saw like,
sorry,
holy crap. Yeah, no. I'm not trying to make fun of them, but I was blown away by how much they, quote unquote, did not know.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, this is basic stuff.
Well, here's another thing, too. We've had a few classes, because I teach at the Solid Community College as well. Same thing, defensive tactics. And the last class we had, I think, had 14 people, because it's a night school, kind of thing. And it's paid for by the individual people going through.
Okay.
So there's 2 different types of police academies type of thing. There's a self-sponsor, which is the SLIC and a few other satellite academies. And you pay for that type of thing, just to explain to everybody what that is. And then we have the daytime police academy, which is you're hired by an agency and you're going to be paid while you're there.
And they'll go right into work afterwards.
Right. And so this class is of 14 people. We asked them, how many have ever been in an altercation?
Yeah.
They said none.
Mm-hmm.
Then it came to how many have ever done a contact sport? 1. And so it was kind of like, okay.
Yeah, they have no idea.
So they don't know, And so then the first there was one young lady. She was actually in the day academy. She was so worried about getting punched for the first time in the street that she was like, "You guys gonna punch me? You guys need to punch me."
Yeah.
No, stop. You will get punched.
Just get it over with.
Yeah, that's what she wanted.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. You will. Mm-hmm. It's just, we want to make sure that you understand what and how to take a punch too.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a difference between me just walking up and blindsiding you versus being able to absorb a strike or something like that. So that was an interesting ordeal, because I'm like, what? Growing up when I did, it was common practice to get in a fight, kind of thing. Even if it was on the football field, we were padded up and stuff. Even a basketball, game or something.
Exactly.
We got a little bit radical sometimes.
Yeah, it was basketball was a lot different back then, not the way it is today. So basketball
it's turning into soccer.
Yeah, I was going to say basketball's the new soccer, which is sad, because I used to love watching basketball. Now you watch it and you're just like, the dude sneezed on him and he's on the ground holding his arm.
However, that last video of the guy doing the takedown with the choke, that was pretty good.
Yeah, Draymond.
Yeah,
I was like, oh dang, look at that.
He's like teaching some MMA.
Yeah, but nothing beats like the 90s and 80s basketball. I just watched it today, because I was watching a show where they're talking about the best rivalries in sports.
Oh, yeah.
So they were talking Lakers Celtics.
Oh, yeah.
You being from LA and me being from LA.
Yeah.
Man, they showed the play where Mikhail basically clotheslined Rambis in the playoff. Like, I'm not even kidding. Oh, my God. Like, you look at WWE, it was like that.
It
like,
totally
the dude went in the air,
remember.
clotheslined him. He, like, flips in the air, lands on his head, and he doesn't roll there. He gets up and starts swinging. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So
welcome back to it.
Exactly. Now it's like, you rub up against him wrong, and it's a foul. So, but, yeah, no, it's surprising on how many people... like you said, have either never done a contact sport, 2, never been in an altercation. Now, there's many forms of altercations.
Right. I mean, you can go verbal.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, never been in like a heated argument.
Right.
Never been pushed, never been shoved, any of that stuff. To where it's like they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And that's you don't blame them, because you've never been in it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not trying to say everybody needs to go out and get in an altercation. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's debatable.
Well, he's retired now. They can do what they want.
They do whatever they want, man. I'm good. I don't have to go.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't have to deal with them. But I think there is something to being in some sort of altercation because one, it kind of shows your true self,
right?
And you know whether or not you're going to be a fighter or a flighter.
Mm-hmm. Well, the other side too, and this is something that's been added in there, is the freeze.
Yeah,
to where people they get hit and they just freeze.
Yeah,
and so they don't do anything.
Yeah,
and so they get hit or twice.
So it's flight, fright, or freeze.
Yeah.
The 3 Fs.
Right.
I've known people with training, the freeze happens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They get in an altercation, all of a sudden something happens, and all the training down the toilet.
Right.
Why? Because they've never experienced anything like that.
Well, it's always a lot. I shouldn't say always. Most of the time, it's in a controlled environment to where
they know they're not going to get hurt.
I'm not going to get hurt.
Like sparring.
Correct.
Okay, it's like when you're sparring, I know I'm going to get hit, but I know I'm not going to get knocked out.
Right. Right.
Okay. You always have.
You hope.
You hope.
There's that one time when you stepped into the punch.
Exactly.
And you go, dang, that was harder than I was supposed to be.
I've been knocked out in sparring numerous times. It's not fun, but it happens.
Right.
But you know in the back of your head you're safe.
Yeah.
You're safe. Versus in a real altercation, you're like, I don't know who this is.
Right.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where this is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There is all that uncertainty to where it's scary.
Yeah, totally.
And
like you said, you don't know who they are, or what they know.
Yeah.
And so, or what they have.
I was going to say, what they have.
That's the scary thing. We used to teach a actual knife defense at the police academy at one point. But the problem is knives are so scary because they're so hidden.
Yeah.
That we just teach it as a punching defense now.
Yeah.
Because it's just as well, because you could stab me just as fast as you could punch me.
Exactly. No, I remember. I tell everybody, I'm far more scared of somebody with a knife than I am with a gun.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And I saw a video. It was probably about 3 years ago. I saw a video online. Man, it opened my eyes to where it's like, we need to be taking knives super serious. It was an altercation. It looked like it was either in a Central American or even like or somewhere in Asia. It was two people and they were in a conflict, and like one pushed the other one, and the other one kind of went back and almost like in a side stance, and the guy rushed up on him. And then he punched. I thought he punched him.
Yeah.
Like, boom, he hit him right in the chest. And then he stepped back a little bit. And the dude he hit took 2 steps and then hit the floor.
Wow.
He stabbed him in the chest like that.
Wow.
And I was like, and all of a sudden you start seeing blood on the floor, and you're like, oh my God, that guy just got stabbed.
Yeah.
And he hit him right in the chest. I'm sure he either hit his heart or punched a lung. I don't know I'm pretty sure the dude died.
Wow.
And I was like, it happened that fast.
Exactly. Well, I mean, look at how often we train with the punches and strikes that we do. Put a knife in that and realize that how many times could you be hit? If I had 2 knives in both of my hands, I could hit you 5 to 6 times in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, I mean, that's really anybody that trains all the time. You could get hit and stuck multiple times. Mm-hmm. Then comes the person that actually has the knife.
Yeah.
Who probably has an idea what he's doing.
Yep.
Or they are doing.
Yeah.
Right? So they're not going to go just for your lung or something like that. They're going to hit the rib cage that's going to go through the rib cage as an angle.
Yeah.
Or go for arteries that are dangerous.
Exactly. So knives are no joke, and they're very, very scary. So I mean, I know we teach knife defense,
right?
But truthfully, like if they have a knife, keep your distance.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah, they
back
actually,
up.
When I first started in law enforcement, it was the 21-foot rule.
Yeah.
They've since extended that to the 31-foot rule, which to people that don't understand what that is, it used to be 21 feet. They could stab you and get a good stab on you before you could draw your handgun.
Yeah.
Like I said, nowadays they've changed it to 31 feet, so 10 more feet that they can get to me, and before I can get my weapon out to engage an accurate shot.
31 feet.
31 feet.
Man.
And that's a long way. I mean, if you really measured that out,
that's a long way.
That's a long way.
I feel like I could shoot him before that, though.
They're talking so the deal with law enforcement side of things is it's reactive.
So, okay.
90% of the
because
time.
I'm thinking, like, when we've done firearm training.
No, I'm not on target.
Well, not only that, but like the most recent one when we went from holster and then on target, 3 shots as fast as you can. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking that, but yet I'm ready for it. So it's like, oh, bam, I got it.
Right.
Because I know it's coming. But then all of a sudden you're like, okay, you're just looking around. All of a sudden you see some dude running at you.
Like, well,
you
stop.
have to process.
Yeah. What is that?
Yeah, exactly. Why are they running at me? Oh, they have something in their hand. Oh, I need to defend myself. And by that time, they're on top of you.
Right.
So, yeah, I think, again, the average person, or just like the stuff I just spewed out, we're like 31 feet. I could totally shoot somebody in that time frame.
But not if you don't know who it is.
Exactly.
You know, we got a gang situation or an altercation, let's say, of people at a bar.
Okay.
There's 3 people, say, 2 fighters, and then the boyfriend, the girlfriend, whoever it is.
Yeah.
Out of those 3 people, who's got the knife? Don't know.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden they're mad because you're there.
Yep.
They come running at you, and they may be the person asking for help, or they may be the person with the knife.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So when you start looking at things in that regards, I drop my weapon out, bam! Oh, they just needed help.
I just shot the wrong person.
Well, that's a bad day to be
exactly.
an officer, right?
No, it's interesting that you say scenarios like that, because I remember Shannon and I, they used to have this simulator over at the TNT gun range next to the highway patrol office. It was a 300 degree simulator.
Yes.
Did you guys ever go?
I didn't go to that one, but I know of it.
You know,
I know the same thing. I've done training in those.
And that helped kind of change Shannon's viewpoint on cops as well, because we went through like call scenarios.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden you stand in the middle of this platform surrounded by screens that goes dark, and then you hear the 911 dispatcher, and they're explaining the scene to you.
Or the call.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the call, not the scene. They're explaining the call to you. And then you go to this call,
and all the screens come on.
Yeah, and you have no idea what is happening.
Yeah.
Like, okay, one of the scenarios that we went through were totally screwed us. But we went to a scene where there was a quote-unquote domestic dispute going on, okay? So we go there, and it's between a guy in a wheelchair and a normal able body.
Okay.
So again, you're thinking, guy in the wheelchair is getting bullied by the guy standing. No, the guy in the wheelchair pulled a gun on us and shot us. We both, quote-unquote, died in that scenario.
Did that have the taser?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was just checking because that's the best part. You're like, oh, you got that.
Yes. So what he's talking about is in at least this simulator, they give you a little battery pack looking thing that you hook up to your belt, and it's effectively a taser.
Right.
So if you get shot, it tases your hip. Yeah. So
it's awesome.
You got hit.
Oh, it's so
now,
cool.
the tase could last anywhere from like a quarter of a second to 2.5 seconds. Okay, so it can
depending on the proctor, right? The guy that's doing it is the one that can...
you do it.
Oh,
so
okay.
you tell him, be like, hey, I could totally handle it. Yeah, no.
Feel something.
Okay, so it can zap the hell out of you, or it can feel like a rubber band flicking you. Okay, whatever you feel like you can handle.
So you did the rubber band flick?
I don't. I think we did either the half a second or a second, because I was with Shanna.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And totally. It's Shanna's fault.
Yeah.
No, but speaking of that, another funny scenario, we were doing another call, and Shanna gets shot and gets tased.
Yeah.
And she flags me. Pop, pop, pop. She shot me. And then I get tased.
Oh, that's great.
So
thanks, buddy.
We were
Thanks,
standing.
partner.
Yeah, exactly. We were standing side by side, and she's got her gun on target, and she gets shot and tased, and her reaction is her arms flail.
Yeah.
And her arms flailed with the gun hand across me, and she shot me. And so so every now and then I always give her crap, because I was like, God, do you remember when you shot me? and I like to say it with people that don't have any context.
Yeah.
And they're like, you shot him? And then we have to go through and re-explain and this and that.
Right.
No, oh my God, we did it. We did that, I think, at least twice.
Wow.
I had so much fun with it.
It's a great training tool.
I loved it. And I loved it because we would run into scenarios where another scenario, we were concealed carries.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So this one wasn't law enforcement, it was concealed carry. And it's fun because the proctor behind you can make it go all
good
sorts
or bad.
Oh yeah, all sorts of directions.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are going to an ATM. We're at an ATM, and we're confronted by somebody. Okay. Now, call it stereotypical or what, but we were confronted by somebody of color. Okay. Shanna starts talking to the screen because it asks me like, "Hey man, like, do you have some money?" And then she responds like, "No, I don't have any money." And then the proctor makes it go all sorts of different directions, okay? And she's talking back and forth to this person, and then she pulls out her gun and shoots him. And I was like, what the hell are you doing? And she goes, he was reaching for a knife. I was like, he put his hand behind him. He was reaching for a knife. I saw it. I was like, you're out of your mind. And the guy behind us is like, no, he was reaching for a knife. I was like, are you kidding me?
How did you see it?
I told her, I go, how did you see that?
Yeah.
And she goes, well, I saw him put his hand behind his back. Then I saw something shining. I was like, bullshit. You did not see anything shiny. Your hand went behind you, and then you lit him up. Like, not once. She unloaded a magazine into him. It's all like,
reload.
Exactly.
You didn't shoot more because I ran out of bullets. I had to reload.
Exactly. So I was like, what are you doing? And the guy's like, no, dude, she was in the right. And I was like, don't tell her that.
Now she thinks she's got skills.
Exactly. I was like, she just shot this guy. But
this poor man.
Oh God, yeah.
He's just asking for money.
Yeah, no, but it's fun going through. I'd recommend everybody doing it. One, because if you ever want to know what it's like to be a cop and know what they go through, you have the ability without long-term consequences.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we talk about Monday Night Football or Monday Night quarterbacking or whatever it is.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so I have, as a law enforcement officer, you have a split second. We talk about the 31-foot rule now, right? How long does it take somebody to get from the 31 feet to you? It depends on how fast they are or how determined they are, right?
Yeah.
And so now it's a matter of me, in a matter of seconds, I have to make the conscious decision to go to my handgun, taser, or get out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's kind of what the decisions
those are.
What am I going to do?
Basic three.
And so a lot of times, because of the less lethal options that are out there, there's an Aspeton, there's an OC spray, there's the taser, which, by the way, only works 50% of the time. And that's from the company itself saying that. And this sounds really bad, but the handgun doesn't work 100% of the time either.
Yeah.
People will survive bullet wounds.
Yeah.
Unless you get the right spot at the right time, they survive. Most people say it feels like a punch, a really hard punch when they've been shot. Never been shot. Don't want to be shot.
Yeah, I don't want to be shot either.
Thanks. Well, other than, Shanna tasing.
Yeah.
That
the tasing shot.
That's way different.
That's way different. That's
way
more of it's a jolt. Yeah, you don't feel like you get punched in that. That feels like you got tased.
Yeah, you got hit by some kind of electric current. But the decision is there, and now it drags on for months to years on what did you do.
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Exactly. And it's I mean, it's not fair. It's just not fair. Like you said, you have those Monday morning, Monday morning quarterbacks to where it's like, oh, if I was in the game, I would. No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, you don't know because you weren't in that situation.
Exactly. No, you wouldn't. Just shut up. Just keep your mouth shut.
We'll let the courts decide what's going to happen, and we'll
gain the facts. And that's how you base your decision on. Right. Now, it's sad because it's like even with I'm not comparing cops to refs like in games, but like when they have the instant replay.
Yeah.
It's like, anybody can see that they made the wrong call when it slowed down 20 frames a second. Yeah. Be like, oh, his foot didn't touch the white, even though it was like a millimeter away. Mm-hmm. But yet in a game, real speed, there's no way. Yeah, there's no way you would have been able to tell that.
Yeah, no way.
So, I highly recommend everybody doing some sort of simulator.
Yeah.
And if you have a spouse or a significant other, do it with them because it brings you closer together on like who will do what.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are always fun. So I had a really good time with that.
Cool.
But and then so let's kind of get back to your to modern day training. when did you get back into the martial arts? Because you did it in San Diego. Mm-hmm. You did it when you came to Utah for a while. Then you joined the academy. Then you went into law enforcement. And then I'm assuming there was a break.
Yeah. Pretty much throughout the 26 years of law enforcement, other than dabbling with what they taught in the police academy. I was a defensive tactics instructor.
Okay.
For the highway patrol, and had done that periodically. And then, the job takes you in different directions and stuff, so I didn't get a chance to really teach, all the whole time throughout my career. But I was teaching a little bit and had a knowledge of it and things. And then I want to say about 5 or 6 years ago, my son's like, Dad, I want to do karate. I'm like, dude, you got to be dedicated to it, man. We'd put him into basketball and baseball and football, and he'd do the season 3 months and was like, it was fun, but I'm done.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was going to be the same thing with martial arts, and I'm like, look, man, it's a whole nother world.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about martial arts. I love it.
Yeah. No, because I remember meeting you in the West Jordan studio.
Yeah.
On Riker's yellow belt test.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And how excited and emotional he was.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember going up to him, I'm like, is he okay? Is he going to be okay? And you're like, yeah, it's just how he is.
That's me.
Yeah,
he got it from me.
He's an emotional kid, and he's just letting it all out. And I'm like, okay, I just want to make sure he's good.
Well, he was proud,
Yeah, he was very excited.
Prideful type of thing, and I think that I hope that was something that I was able to teach him. And he's 19 now, and so I told him, I said, hey, you get into it. You give me a year.
Yeah.
Or after you give me a year into it, I'll join you. Now, luckily for me, I brought the certificates from back in the 1990s.
Yeah.
Hey, here's my certificate for blue belt.
I remember that irritated the hell out of him that you outranked him for a while.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, I had joined in, and he was the same rank.
Oh, okay.
And so there were other people that. So the first couple of months, I was like 2 or 3 months in, and I'm in a white gi with a white belt and standing in the very back of the line because that's how we line people up here, and. All these other students are there. There's brown belts and all the other people that are in the West Jordan school and things, and people that are outranking me all over the place. And the next thing you know, I'm in a black gi with a blue belt on, and they're like, "What the hell?"
They're like, "Hey, wait a second! You were in the back last week.
You're not really that much better than me, man." I'm like, I had a certificate, Yeah. And so they, you guys honored it, and it made me happy about it. And I've since become a black belt with him, and. After I retired 2 years ago, Tyler Martin asked me to come in and teach for you guys, and I was like, oh, man, this is awesome. What an honor.
Yeah.
And so, but being retired, I didn't want another full-time job, so I backed off a little bit and kind of went to part-time, and I've got a few students that I teach and everything, and I love it.
Well, that's the point of being retired is, like, enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's fun having, like, stuff to do. Right. Like being active, being, staying in there, but like you don't need another full-time job.
I didn't need another full-time job. And I didn't realize what I was getting into. I mean, I did, but I didn't. So I backed off a little bit, and like I say, I teach a couple days a week over there in West Jordan, and participate as a student. And my son and I do it together. And you talk about having a tiff with somebody.
Yeah,
that's the best thing to do with them.
Oh yeah,
come on over, son. Let's spar.
I have a family that trains here, and the husband and wife they'll come to sparring class every now and then. They got no issues with each other. They just beat the hell out of each other on Saturday, and they're like, it's time for some marriage therapy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we make jokes of it, but honestly, that is one of the best things that you can do out there, and is train together. The family that trains together stays together is what the philosophy is.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's very, very true. Because I know I get a lot of flack for this type of statement and like thinking, but I feel like schools should have a set of boxing gloves in every room or in the gym. And if you got an issue with somebody,
go take it to them.
Be like, hey, dude, we need to work this out. And it's controlled, it's monitored.
Yeah,
and it's for just a little bit of time, because once they get it out of their system,
it's over.
It's over, and they end up becoming friends.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not advocating violence.
Right.
Okay, I'm not being like, oh, they should just beat each other into a living pulp.
Yeah.
But
well, you said controlled.
Yes, there is something about releasing that aggression.
Yeah. Right.
And these kids nowadays, they don't have the ability to release that aggression. So that's why you have shootings. Yeah. That's where you have these mental health disorders. That's where you have all these problems with these modern day children.
Yeah.
Is because they have all these issues, and someone's wronged them, or they have a problem with somebody, and they don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and it's like the kids that get bullied, all of a sudden they snap and they freak out and they beat up this bully. Well, now they're suspended and kicked out of school.
Yep.
So, like, I remember...
Or even worse, like you said, the shootings.
Yeah.
It builds up so far that now they don't know what to do.
And they're just going to hurt everybody.
They're just going to... Anybody that said boo to them the wrong way,
they're going to look for them. Yeah, exactly.
Down, you know?
And I feel like there'd be far less like teenage violent crime or violent acts if they just had the ability to literally take 2-3 minutes, put some gloves on, stay safe, have somebody monitor it, and they duke it out.
Yeah.
Then it's done, it's over with, they can move on with their lives.
Yeah. You know, and the thing too with that, that's a great idea and things, but sometimes it's the weaker person that's going to be there. And so that philosophy would be great if it worked in equal type of thing, but you instead pick you got so-and-so who's going to come in and work him instead, because I just it's going to help me out a little bit, or you punch a bag, type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it's I think that's a great thing for every father and son to have that ability to like, great. Hey son, come here. You're my partner this round.
Actually, he'd call me out. Hey, I need a warm. He called me out a couple months ago. Hey, I need a warm up, and I'm like, oh, you're dead, boy.
A warm up, huh?
Wow. Yeah, he called me out. I'm like, okay, sucker, it's on, dude.
I'll show you a warm up.
Yeah, let me show you a warm up.
I'll warm up these knuckles on your face. Yeah, no, Riker's a great kid. He's super energetic.
Oh my gosh, yeah, sometimes a little too much, but
I don't know how he has as much energy as he does. Every time I'm around him, I'm like, dude, stand the hell still.
Well, here's the funny thing too. You'd think he was like on Monsters or energy drinks, crazy and stuff like that. He don't drink them.
Yeah,
he don't even drink soda. Yeah. I mean, Sprites every once in a while,
caffeine-free stuff.
Yeah, no, he don't even drink that. Yeah, I mean, he just that's him, man. He just energetic.
He's wired.
And the funny thing too is most of the time when you probably see him, he's been at the gym for an hour.
He's cooled off a little bit,
and he's cooled off.
Yeah. Now he's like our good friend Tony in Bountiful, to where he's just like all over the place. And you're just like, whoa, hey, calm down. Yeah, so no, he's a great kid.
Desert Bunny type of thing,
Yeah, you have a great family. Mary Kay's a wonderful woman. Yeah, like I said, you've had the ability to maintain such a good family unit while seeing horrible things.
Yeah.
And
talking is the biggest thing that we've had the chance to do. She's also an officer. She's a sergeant with the Highway Patrol too. And the biggest thing that I can say for any married couple that's out there, communicate with each other, because what happens a lot of times, especially in the law enforcement side, or even fire personnel or first responders, I should say, is we don't talk about what happened. What happened to you. We bottle it up inside when you went and saw the baby that was just burnt in the microwave. And I hate to say it that way, but that's what happens, out there. And you're like, how can this happen? And so the other side of that coin, though, is the person that is the spouse of them has to understand that there's another violent world that's out there. And I think I shouldn't say we, officers or people will hide that from you. You don't need to hear it. You don't need to know what I say.
Yeah. Right. No, in a way, you're still protecting.
Yeah. You're still trying to protect.
You're still trying to protect them, and you don't want to expose them to the horrible things that you've witnessed. And no, that's a very difficult thing to do, and that's not just a masculine thing. That's an everybody.
Oh, that's in everybody.
Anybody that's in, like you said, military, first responders, police. police, firefighters. They've seen things and done things that the average person, I don't think, would have the stomach to do.
Oh yeah, no, people don't understand what's out there.
Yeah,
there's been things that I've seen that I'm like, oh gosh, this is horrific. I've been gagging on a scene because it's so violent or nasty.
Yeah, no, and I think that's especially true for people here in Utah.
Yeah,
Utah, it's a great place to live, but the people here are a little naive to what, I don't want to say the real world is, but what the real world is. It's a very religious based state.
Yep.
I mean, shoot, most people leave their doors unlocked. I mean, I know of people that leave their keys in their car because it's parked in the driveway.
Yeah.
And it's like, that does not happen anywhere else, people.
I'll tell you what, speaking of that, keys in there, winter's here now, here in Utah, and every day that I would check on shift, somebody's car was stolen because they were out, they started the car to warm it up, and it was an attempt to locate would come out of a vehicle that had been stolen. So
what he's describing is, in the wintertime, a lot of cars are left outside, obviously, either not exposed to the elements or whatever, and people will start their car 10 minutes before they have to leave to defrost the windows, get it warm, and then they'll go back in the house with the car running with the keys in it and the doors unlocked. Why? Because they got to get back in the car.
Yeah.
And then they're surprised when they come out and the car's gone.
Yeah. Hey, where's my car?
Exactly. Okay. That's why there's these great inventions called remote starts.
Now. Yes.
Now. But back in the day, people would hop in their car, turn it on, and go back inside because they're thinking in their mind, nothing could possibly, it's a nice neighborhood, nothing would happen in my car. And then it's gone.
Yep.
So, or they hear of these acts of violence, and they're saying, oh, that could never happen in our neighborhood. Well, it can.
Yeah.
So
there was I don't know what kind of time frame we got, but it's a quick story. So homicide suspect shoots at this guy. It's on the freeway kind of thing. This is my rookie year in the field. Shoots at the guy, ends up killing him kind of thing. He was a mailman, 4 o'clock in the morning. My buddy and I are working graveyard shift. The guy's dead on the scene. Guy drives off, but now he knows he's got to ditch this car. Drives the car into Murray City, goes to an apartment complex, bangs on the door with where his buddy's at and things like that. The guy's like, what are you doing, man? Get the hell out of here. And he's like, no, man, I just did something bad. I got to get out of here. Same scenario. Guy's car's downstairs in the apartment complex running. Happens to be a white Cadillac. It started, it's running, things like that. Thank you for the car. He takes off. We ended up catching the guy down in Beaver, Utah, which is down south of us here. And they got in a high-speed pursuit with the guy and all these different things. He's still serving a life sentence for that there.
Yeah.
But that's you're thinking Murray City, I'm good to go because of this area, it's safe.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, gangbanger comes to be and steals your car.
Exactly.
So, oh, dang, it's weird.
So, but I know you got some teaching to do today, so we'll kind of wrap it up. But no, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come out and talk to us and relay some stories and events and like how you've used your training both in law enforcement realm, outside the law enforcement realm. And we'll have to have you back on again because, like I said, anytime we have an interview, man, it always lasts.
Like we're just scratching the surface.
Like
exactly,
enough, right?
exactly. So we always put it into 2 parts.
Oh, cool.
But it's like we need to have a two-parter.
Yep.
Exactly. So it's like we need to have you back on, Master Martin back on, Master Linton back on. Yeah, it really just feels like we're scratching the surface on
totally.
Like what you're doing, how you've done it, all that stuff. But we really appreciate you being able to tell us some of these stories, relay this information to us. Because, like you said, talking, I think, is the best way to make some changes.
Yeah.
And exposing people to what law enforcement have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So maybe when they come in contact with somebody in law enforcement, they can show a little bit more empathy in terms of like, okay, this sucks for me if I'm getting pulled over, but I know they're not thrilled about it either.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Well, and the thing too, and this is one of the guys that I had, he'd get a complaint, every once in a great while, and it was one of those things. What did he just deal with before this?
Exactly.
Because we still have a job to do. I mean, I've got a 10-hour shift that I'm still working.
Exactly.
And my morning started off with a fatal crash.
Yeah.
Or, dealing with a dead body in the house, a suicide or something like that, But there's still a job that I have to go do.
Yeah, there's still, traffic laws you have to
enforce.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Or like, hey, dude, you ran a red light.
Yeah.
Like, I know to you it's not a big deal, but I just came back from a car crash where someone ran a red light and now they're dead.
Right.
So you may think I'm an asshole.
Exactly.
But I'm really just trying to save your life.
Yeah.
So, no, appreciate you coming on out. So if you haven't subscribed to us, please make sure you subscribe on YouTube, Amazon Music, and Spotify. We're still trying to figure this iTunes things out, but we'll try to get on iTunes as soon as we can. Make sure if you have the ability to share the show with somebody. If there's topics you want us to talk about, please leave them in the comments. Because really, like we said at the beginning, we're just trying to make the world a better place. I mean, our motto here at TruMotion is building better people. So, I figure the more people we can build better, the
or even
better,
talk to, communicate with.
Exactly. The better off the world's going to be. So, thank you, Donovan, for coming on in.
Of course.
We'll make sure to have you on again. And again, make sure you subscribe, share the show, and we will talk with you guys next week. So, new episodes drop every Tuesday?
New episodes every Tuesday.
New episodes every Tuesday. So make sure you look out for new episodes coming up every Tuesday. So thank you for spending the time with us, and we'll kick it with you next time.
Kick it with you next time, everyone. Bye.